Okay, now we're on to part 5, question 5 of part 1 of CAE revision. So it will also mark an enormous something forward in the development of wave power. We're looking for a noun, and they've given us 4 nouns, an enormous tread, an enormous strike, an enormous pace, an enormous step forward. So you need to think here, do we tread forward, do we strike forward, do we pace forward, or do we step forward? Because once again, the most important thing for helping us understand which word is missing is the preposition, which follows the noun. So which of these nouns works with forward? Do you take a tread forward? No. Do you take a strike forward? Well, strike doesn't even mean walking, so I would get rid of that immediately. Pace does mean walking or running, but we don't take a pace forward, so that's not correct. But we do take a step forward, and I hope you've heard the expression step forward as in the verb, but you can also take a step forward. So yeah, a step is very common with forward, a step forward. This is the word we need here. Okay, next we've got a phrasal verb. It will also mark an enormous step forward in the development of wave power, and wave power has tended to something behind its cousins. Now here we've got a phrasal verb, because we've got to plus infinitive and then we've got a preposition. So you should be able to recognise that we're definitely looking for a phrasal verb. So which of these verbs work with behind? Lag behind, leave behind, drag behind, delay behind. I hope you understand immediately that delay behind doesn't exist. Drag behind, well, you can drag something behind you, and something could drag you back, but the phrasal verb would be drag back, not drag behind. And I think when you drag something behind you, it's actually just the verb drag, and that something is behind you. So drag behind is not a phrasal verb either. Leave something behind is a phrasal verb. I must admit, it is a phrasal verb, and so I think most students will get this one wrong and write leave behind. But leave behind is not the correct meaning here, because what we're looking for is a verb which means that wave power is behind its cousins, the other renewable energy sources, wind power and solar power. We're trying to say that wave power is behind, that it's not as advanced as wind power and solar power. Wind power and solar power have more advanced forms of technology, that they're more on the cutting edge than wave power is. So if you leave something behind, you go to work and you leave behind your keys, or you go to work and you leave behind your wallet, something like that. You leave your wallet behind, you leave your wallet at home, you leave your keys at home. That is incorrect. That's not what we want to say here. We want to say, this is the correct one, we want to say that wave power lags behind its cousins. So please remember that lag behind, it means, I could say this about students. If I have a class of 10 students and one student is not as good as the other students, all other 9 students, that one student is lagging behind his classmates. The other students have taken many steps forward and have gone ahead of that other student. So that student is lagging behind. Just remember this phrasal verb, to lag behind, it means that you need to catch up. It means that you are behind and you need to catch up with the rest of the class, or maybe wave power needs to catch up with its cousins, wind power and solar power. Okay, let's come on to the next one. It's cousins in the other main something of renewable energy technology. So the other main limbs, the other main branches, the other main wings, the other main prongs. So we need to choose a word which means the other types of renewable energy. We don't use prongs to talk about types. We don't use wings to talk about types. We don't use limbs to talk about types. Limbs means your arms and legs. We do use the word branches though, don't we? We talk about different branches of a bank. meaning different outlets of that bank. And you might say there is a branch of this bank on the high street, but there's also a branch of the bank down the local in the local shopping centre. So you can certainly use this word branches to mean different types of things, and it works here, the other main branches of renewable energy technology. So that word works well. Okay, coming on to number 8, but surfers in the southwest have something concerns about the project. So they have explained concerns, spoken concerns, expressed concerns, or commented concerns. Now, you don't comment concerns, you don't speak concerns, you don't explain concerns, you really don't. You only express concerns. Is a collocation here? I'm afraid there's not much else I can say in the way of an explanation, but you do not use any of the other words with the word concern. So I hope that you've come across that expression before, because that will be the only way that you know that you can get this one correct. Remember though, you can always use the process of elimination, and you should use that process if nothing strikes you as correct from the outset. So please use the process of elimination if that helps.